And you may be a businessman, you may be someone who's actually running an organization, and you neglect yourself. You don't focus on what can really make you a better person. The successful man is the man who continues after the failure has said it can't be done.
You know, mental health, it's a little bit of an issue these days.
I've lost 2 friends who committed suicide. After many years of telling people and telling men out there, listen, wear your heart in your sleeve. If you're feeling really sad, right, cry, let it out. When something dramatic happened in my life, I was there stifling my tears. And every business person out there, it's a lonely space. When I left school, right, I remember the careers officer telling me, Evans, all you're going to be good for is to work in an office. I've been in number 10 Downing Street, I don't know how many times. Tony Blair is walking up the staircase, he sees me, and he goes, hello, Moat. He knows me.
You are going to be the world's oldest man, I'm telling you.
Welcome to the Business Growth Podcast, powered by ActionCOACH UK, the world #1 in business coaching. Since 1993, we've helped thousands of business owners and entrepreneurs worldwide smash through their limits and achieve extraordinary results. This is more than a podcast, it's your blueprint for success. So grab a pen and paper, take notes, and make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell for weekly growth insights. Let's do this.
ActionCOACH, the help you need to grow your business.
What if the secret to a better business wasn't in a spreadsheet or a strategy, but in how you take care of yourself? You may remember him lighting up British TV in the 90s with his neon outfits and infectious energy. But behind the Lycra, Derrick Evans MBE, better known as Mr Motivator, has lived a life full of lessons from homelessness to 10 Downing Street, from cleaning toilets to selling over 1 million fitness videos, to becoming a powerful voice on mental health and well-being. At 72, he has more energy than most people half his age. And he's here to share the truth about balance, resilience, and why making time for yourself and others could be the missing piece in your life and business.
This episode is sponsored by Constant Contact. Constant Contact is a powerful yet easy to use marketing platform designed for small business. Leverage automation and AI to expand your contact list, build relationships, and drive business with email, social media, event marketing, and more. Now back to the podcast. Oh, we've got the thumbs up.
Oh, well, there you go.
What's the secret? It's a lifelong...
To looking so good?
Yeah, to looking so fabulous.
Fabulous, yeah.
What's the secret?
I think, there are a number of pillars that makes us and keeps us safe. And those pillars are anything from your emotional, your physical, your financial well-being. And if any one of those are not in place, not in sync, it throws everything else out. So, for example, if emotionally you're not feeling very well, you can imagine what happens. You can't make decisions, you can't sleep at night, you can't get up in the morning. There's all kinds of things that happen. So I think it's really important to get that balance, and that's what I have in my life. And I think when you find someone that you really want to be with, when you find the job that puts a smile on your face, when you've worked out how to deal with the stresses of life, right? When you've done all that, right, it does put you in a great place.
Emotional, physical, and financial well-being.
Yeah, that's just 3 of them.
How many of them is there?
There's loads more. I mean, your emotions, your emotions are really important.
Yeah, this is not a sexist question. Are women better than men at dealing with emotions? Yeah,
they are. You see, women have been teaching us lessons for years. They've been telling you to wear your heart in your sleeve, to be emotional, not just when things make you feel good, but when things make you feel bad, to cry. And I had to learn, to my detriment, right, after many years of telling people and telling men out there, listen, wear your heart in your sleeve. If you're feeling really sad, right, cry, let it out. When something dramatic happened in my life, which emotionally knocked me asunder and stress was knocking me all over the place, the only thing that saved me was when, after weeks of literally trying to be strong for everybody else and not showing my emotion, and when everyone around me was breaking down, especially the women who were crying, I was there stifling my tears. The moment I sat down with my wife and my youngest daughter, who's 29, and I said to them, I know why I'm not well. I know why I don't feel good. I think I need to cry. And I bawled my eyes out that day. I just bawled, cried, couldn't stop. But you know what happened at the end of it? It's like a cloud was lifted off. And all of a sudden, I felt so good. So my message to men is that don't just have a smile on your face, right, when in fact you're happy. when things are sad and it's really affecting you, you feel you can't go on, cry. It's a great relief. And it doesn't make you a weaker man. In fact, it makes you a real strong man.
That situation where you did let it all out,
Yeah.
will you remember that for the rest of your life?
Oh, for sure.
Was that a life-defining moment?
It was a point at which what I had to do was say, look, doing what I do, which is not just physical fitness. I'm always giving people life lessons and things that they should be aware of and thought-provoking things. I'm always doing it. But sometimes you can say the words and not actually digest it. So it applies to you.
Yeah.
And so what I learned that day is that all the messages I've been giving out, I must also embrace that same message across the board. Don't just pick out the ones that suit me. You know, you must get up every morning. You must do some exercise. You must move the body. Don't just, go for all the other elements that really support you and keep you strong and keep you upright, because I'm in a real important time in my life. I'm 72 years of age.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. The aura, the vibe, the youthfulness, the energy, the pizzazz. Honestly, you've got it. You are fabulous.
But thank you. But you know, it's so important, right, that what we all do in business, at home, in our personal life, in our walks, is that we actually look for something. You don't have to look far. Something to be grateful for every day. Something to actually say, listen, this is going to make me feel good. This is going to put a smile on my face. And, the way you leave home every day. Listen, I get up in the morning and I look in the mirror and I'm so proud of who I am. I'm so proud. The richness I have is nothing to do with money. It's all those things that money can't buy. It's the family. It's the good times. It's the being able to almost have a choice. Isn't that a wonderful blessing? Can you imagine that? How many people don't have a choice today about whether you're going to have breakfast or not, whether you're going to diet or not, whether you're going to walk or not? There are lots of people who don't have that. And we have this God-given body. And you may be a businessman, you may be someone who's actually running an organization, and you neglect yourself. You don't look after yourself. You don't focus on what can really make you a better person. You don't walk into the building upright like that so everyone goes, what the hell did you have last night? You're walking with your shoulders down. Everybody knows exactly what you're going through, so they don't care. They don't ask you. But the moment you're walking with your shoulders back and a smile on your face, everybody goes, what have you been up to? Give me some of what you're having. That's what I do in my life, is to try and transmit that to everybody I meet so they leave with a feeling of, he cares, and I do care.
One thing you said is you were proud.
Yes.
What are you most proud of?
You know what? There have been so many things in my life. I'm so far removed from anything I ever imagined I'd be doing. When I left school, right, it was all about survival. I remember the careers officer telling me, Evans, all you're going to be good for is to work in an office. And it's amazing how we gravitate to either our dominant thought or suggestions that people put in our brain. My first job was working in an office, but I wasn't happy. But I suffered it. I tolerated it because I was learning as I was going along. But along the route, to answer your questions, I have met people I never ever expected to meet. I've been in number 10 Downing Street, I don't know how many times. I've been on the staircase of Foreign Office. Tony Blair is walking up the staircase. He sees me and he goes, hello, Moat. He knows me. He calls out Moat.
Oh,
right?
that is cool.
And he says, come here, let me show you something. So he took me around the corridors of the Foreign Office. He says, Robin Cook has got a bigger office than me at number 10. And we walked in, and the doors that let you in were about 15, 20 feet tall. There were two of them, and he opened it up and took me in. There was no one in the office, right? And he said, look at the state of this office, the size of this office. And what did I do? I sat in Robin Cook's desk, and I put my feet on his desk, and I said to Tony, take a seat. Right? And I go, okay, so you want to be Prime Minister. I know you're Prime Minister, but what is your aim? What do you want to get into? How are you going to be? How are you going to achieve? What are you going to do? And we had this conversation about 5 or 10 minutes with me interviewing him, right? And at the end of the evening, when we left, his aide said, look, you've got to go, Tony, you've got to go. And at the end of the evening, he had a red Jag that was taking him away, and I also rented for the evening a red Jag. And we both came out at the same time, and he went to the wrong car. And I laughed my socks off, right? And I said, Tony, get out my car, right? So in terms of proudest moment, it's moments like that. And it's the joy that my children bring me. When I look at my son who lives in LA and the job he's got, right, and how I struggled and I had to fight in the courts to win custody of him. And there he is now, right, really flying high, right? And my youngest daughter who has type 1 diabetes and the problems that she's had to deal with, and how we have all got together and really helped each other. Those are things to be proud of. The other things in terms of meeting people are kind of superficial, right? But there's one job I did, I'll always remember it. Someone from the MS Trust got in touch with me and said, we want you to do a video for people with MS. And I said, yeah. And so we met and they said, look, you've got to audition all the people you want to be in the videos. And I'd have, on one end of the room, there's a person standing up tall. And you never know they've got MS. And at the other end, there's someone in a wheelchair. And that person at the beginning, standing up, could see their progression, could see what will happen to them. But I had to put together exercises that they could all do, recognizing that they all get fatigue, they get tired real quickly. And we did this wonderful video, which has gone all over the world, right? And yeah, that's a proud moment. Another proud moment could be when my videos are still the biggest selling fitness videos in this country ever. Ever. One of the videos sold, 1.5 million copies. Who could have foreseen that? I was the guy who was struggling. I was the guy who was cleaning toilets in CNA and stacking shelves in Tesco. That's what I'm saying. And so in our lives, every day when we get up, it's so important, right, that we focus on the good and recognize that anything bad that's happening to you, it's only a bad moment. It's not a bad life, because we have so much to be grateful for. The freedom that we enjoy here is incredible.
Honestly, I just think by hanging around with you, I just feel better. I'm good at this stuff as well.
Thank you.
You are next level.
Thank you.
You did say there, though, energy flows where focus goes.
Yes.
So choosing what you give energy is a choice.
Yes. Yes, but you have a choice in terms of who you surround yourself with, because that's often the problem.
Yeah, but even a problem occurs and I get a bad email, I can give the negativity energy,
sure,
or I can give the solution energy.
Or you can turn it on its head. Listen, when I do TikTok Live, you'd be surprised.
I cannot believe for a second you are 72.
And we have thousands
honestly,
on there.
You are going to be the world's oldest man. I'm telling you.
I want to live to 114. By then, technology would be such. There'd be just a head in the corner, right?
Yeah.
Saying, what are you doing? Get up, you lazy brute. But, the thing is, right, in life, we are surrounded either by people who extract their very energy out the room, or people who generate it. You have a choice. You have a choice in terms of who you're going to associate with. See a man, see his friends, you know exactly what he's like, okay? Now, I don't like people around me who all they do is either drain me of my energy or they never seem to contribute anything. But anyone around me who I can really glean from, learn from, that's why I love autobiographies. I read them incessantly, because how someone overcame, did what they did, right, is really important to me.
Give us a few examples of a few of the autobiographies that have inspired you.
Yeah, well, take, for example, someone like Richard Branson.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, Richard Branson, when he started his business, he used to be on the same trading estate I used to be on back in the 70s, right? And I used to see him in the corner of, down in London, right in the corner, in a call box. I later found out he was there phoning in his orders for his record. His life has been amazing. And you can learn so much from him about how to market yourself.
Oh, he's a genius,
right?
Isn't
because
he?
Marketing is critical. What did Henry Ford say? A man who doesn't advertise or promote himself, right, like the man who turns off the light to try and save electricity. What you've got to do, you've always got to be promoting yourself. And I've learned from people like that in terms of the marketing of Mr Motivator, because I knew that if I went on television dressed in a black shorts and a white top, you and I would not be having this conversation today. Because the energy of what I give off, the colors, the music, the attitude, is all part of that marketing image to make sure that you don't realize that you're swallowing fitness every time I appear. You're tapping your feet to the music.
Wow, guys. Some lessons in PR and marketing here. Richard Branson is a really good example of that. Screw it, let's do it. I mean, PR genius, adventures, doing stunts, going around the world on crazy. But you rocking up with an I'm Fabulous t-shirt on. Honestly, it's a statement.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are over conscientious.
Yes.
the worry about what other people think.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't care
No,
less.
but just let's go there for a second.
Okay.
Because this is a real limiting belief. They're worried about what other people think.
Yes.
That's why they don't do a lot of things
Yes.
in life.
Yes. And that's what holds you back.
All right. So how does someone overcome that belief? Because you don't have that.
Well, you see, what you've got to do is believe in yourself and realize, right, in fact, those people are really transient. Those people who are going to complain and say, you shouldn't be wearing that, you shouldn't be doing that, they don't really care. They don't really care. The successful man is the man who continues after the failure has said it can't be done. So you stick with your mission. You have your goal in mind. They're going to be dissenters. But you can turn their dissent into a positive affirmation for yourself. So if someone tells you can't do something or you shouldn't be, do quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. What do they know? What do they know that's around the corner? Every one of us have to make a decision. And when we come to the corner, we have to make a decision. Do we go left? Do we go right? Do we go straight on? They can't make it for you. If you choose to wear a T-shirt that says I'm fabulous, I'm awesome, why not? I've got one that says I'm awesome. I've got one that also says I feel so good. I'm telling the world I do feel good. I do feel fabulous.
I believe you. I feel good right
awesome.
now. You're making me feel good.
But I know exactly what you're saying, because when we sell these T-shirts, there's some people say, I can't have the fabulous too big on my chest because people think I'm pretentious. And
ego.
Your ego, right? They want a small little badge. I say, no, you're crazy. Shout from the hilltops who you are. This is who I am. If you don't like me, you have a choice. In the same way they say, 25% of people are going to love you no matter what. 25% of people can be convinced to like you. 25% of people, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what you wear, no matter where you go, they're never going to like you. But 25% of people are on the fence. On the fence. And if enough people say that they like you, all of a sudden they get converted. They're now in your camp. Yeah. So what have you lost out? Only 25% of people who don't like your T-shirt.
What a beautiful way of looking at it.
Yeah, so they don't matter.
Yeah, and the more people that say they like you, they convert all the people on the fence, and then most people like you anyway.
Like me anyhow. That's right.
Yeah, really, really good. All right, so well-being, mental health.
Yes.
It's a little bit of an issue these days.
Yeah, big issue. Big issue. And I think it's because, at one time it was behind closed doors.
Right.
At one time it was the men in the white coats. At one time you don't ever mention that you've got depression in your family. You don't mention, right, that in fact certain persons having to take tablets to keep them calm. You never talked about it, right? That what that has done is actually made it, made men especially, right, vulnerable, right? And I meet a lot of guys who I talk to incessantly. A young man I met was running a business and he just couldn't cope with everything. So he calls me up. He says, D, just say something motivational to me. I'm really on the edge. So a week last Saturday, I went to meet him. I went down to the pub. And for the first 10 minutes, he was like this, with his head in his hands, like this, for the first 10 minutes. And I was talking, and he wouldn't say a word. And afterwards, he started opening up, right? And you understand that depression is something that there is no magic cure for it. We've got to get you talking about it. We've got to get you talking about how you feel. I've lost 2 friends who committed suicide, right? Or in fact, when I say committed suicide, they had death by suicide, right? And they're crying out for help, and we don't make time for them. And that's why it's so important that whoever you meet, you got to understand that unless you're walking in their shoes, you don't know how they're feeling or what they're dealing with. And just by you saying, listen, I'm here for you, and just lowering your voice and just being calm. If you ever want to have a virtual cup of tea or a real cup of tea, we'll do it. If you want to talk, we can go and talk. If you want to go for a walk and just do it in silence, we can do that. Just by you doing that and making time can actually make someone's life more valuable, because often their sense of values are just miscued. It's all over the place. And they don't realize how important they are. And you've got to reassure them and remind them that they are important, that if you remove you from the equation of life, it doesn't work. There's so many people are going to miss you. So many people are going to go, what's happened to Johnny? Where is he? We miss you, Johnny, please. So I think when it comes to mental illness, we've got to encourage people to talk more. We've got to organize, in fact, involved in an organization called Adam's Men. And what it is, right, is basically to do with the fact that a young person died by suicide years ago, And 9 men in Halifax got together and started just meeting and talking. It's grown now. Every week there's 6,000 men meet, have coffee, talk about what they're having to deal with. That's what we've got to do when it comes to mental illness, because there's no one size that fits all. But talking, we know, helps.
I really heard something when you whispered into that microphone. You said, "I'm here for you."
Yeah.
And talking takes away most of the problem of health. Just literally talking to someone and acknowledging them that. Then you later on said, look, reassure them.
Yeah.
Tell them that you care about them. Yeah. And tell them that they're important.
Yeah, yes. But, there's so many people. They're in relationships, They've got children. And guess what? They're lonely. Because there is a space. This good friend of mine who died by suicide, 2 beautiful children, lovely wife. I used to go over to Ireland to go and see him. And one day I got a call from his wife saying, he's died. And I thought, I never saw that coming. And you don't know who's struggling right now. And a lot of people are.
Maybe we just got to be more proactive in friendships in the world that we're living in.
We've got to make more time. But you see, here's the problem. We now have that wonderful little screen in front of us, which dominates our lives. So what we are doing now is really important. Because the conversation, the looking into each other's faces for real, right? The being able to reach across the table and touch and shake hands is something, if we're not careful of, will disappear. And if it does, the incidences of people mentally who can't deal with life is going to increase. Children are going to manifest it. What's going to happen to all those children during lockdown who missed out on 2 years of development? 2 years of making contact with kids at school. Don't forget the way we learn in blocks. Those 2 years are gone. I don't believe right now we're seeing the effect of that as yet. It may have just started. But a lot of the fighting, the crime and stuff like that could all be related to the fact that the development of a child has been messed up because we took 2 years of their life out. Yeah, and it happened to us. Don't forget, it's the one time in our lives when we know exactly where we were, what we were doing, who we saw, didn't see. Yeah. When we went for a walk, when we didn't. When we went shopping, when we didn't. The queues for shopping.
Look, talking is that the best way to cure mental illness? Reaching out, showing up, and talking to your friends.
Talking is a real important thing. But on top of that, there's certain little things that we all need to put in place in our lives, which might just help us. And some things are really kind of obvious. Stress is a major killer. It's affecting all of us. So what do we do if we're stressed? Well, there are lots of things you can do. One is, of course, I'd say exercise, because I know exercise works. And when my granddaughter of 12 died, that was the most stressful time in my life. But the one thing that made all of us smile was when in the hotel in Antigua, I started a class, got all the people in the hotel to join in, and we laughed like crazy. So what's the next thing? Laughter is a great medicine. Yeah. The other thing is the old photo albums. Now they've changed. But if you were to print out all your photos and put it in an album and date them, you only have pictures that mean something to you, that conjures up wonderful memory of wonderful times gone by. And you sit and you look through those. That is brilliant, right? It's escapism. What else? Read a book. Come on. That takes you into another world, right? Taking time out. Just taking time out. Holiday, going for a walk. Lock yourself in the toilet if you're at home and you can't get peace from the children. That is you taking time out. So you see what I'm saying? Talking is one thing, but I think having all these little options will really help. So when you're not able to speak with someone, you can go and speak to yourself.
Me time.
Me time.
That's a really good point, isn't it? Creating a space. And it's space that you need. Space and time.
Yeah.
For you to self-reflect, to think.
Yeah.
Without a screen.
Yeah. For you to listen, we all spend our time caring about everybody else. And that's good. It's fine that we do. But when you get on that airplane, she tells you, or he tells you, put your mask on first before you can help anybody else. Same thing. I do a lot of talks all over the place. And carers are the unsung heroes of this society. There's 7 million carers in this country.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
They don't get looked after.
No.
They have no time for it. Can you imagine a carer looking after someone who needs attention 24/7? That means that carer can't leave the room, can't go down the gym, can't go for a walk. And we desperately...
These are angels, aren't they?
They're angels. Of course they are.
So wait, there's 7 million
7 million
carers.
carers in this country. And can you believe it? This society.
That's like almost 10%.
Yeah. Our carers.
1 in 10.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
That are undervalued and underpaid.
Underpaid. And I got in touch with this society and I said to them, listen, I have a free online club where they can get exercise. They can do it almost with the person they're looking for. Rather than thinking, I can't go to the gym, so I'm going to stay here and get obese and have every single condition that there is going. And they wouldn't promote it to their people. Can you believe it? Crazy. And that's the society we have. That's what's gone wrong. And that's why there are times I would scream out, I shout out, and I call people out because I don't like the way things are going. We've become really selfish. We don't care, right? We don't look out for people, and we've got to make time.
What's the difference between motivation and discipline?
I think you've got to have discipline to be motivated. You've got to be motivated to have discipline.
There's a link there, isn't there?
Yes,
because, because, look, the energy that you're giving off, there's clear motivation there. But what are some disciplines that are really good for people?
Well, the thing is, right, number one, I can't give you motivation, but I believe I can create the environment that you feel motivated in.
Yes.
And I think that's all we're looking for, because I get lots of people saying, I can't motivate myself to do anything. Well, then if you can't motivate yourself to do anything, I can't help you. And if you can't set yourself a goal that says, listen, I want to improve my life, I want to actually be able to run around with my kids, I want to be able to see my grandkids grow up, if that isn't motivation enough, there's something wrong with you.
It is so true, because if someone came and sat in this room, it would be impossible to feel negative.
Oh, totally.
Because of the environment.
Yes.
And the environment does shape who you become probably more than anything else.
Absolutely right. Listen, I meet motivation speakers all the time. A lot of them are jokers. To me, if you're a motivational speaker, you should be speaking about life you've lived, not what I picked up out of a textbook. When you've been to the University of Life, and if each university is 10 years and I'm 72, it means I've been to 7 universities. So there's not much going on in life that I haven't lived. Right? I've been a single parent. I've been homeless. I have had to sleep in a room where there's rats running around the room. There were times when I was sitting outside the homeless family unit with my daughter on my arm, begging for somewhere to stay that evening.
What was your lowest point?
You know what? Interestingly, that was my lowest point. Because I kept believing that if I work hard and I was considerate and kind, amazing things would happen in my life. So I kept working hard. So my lowest point was probably when my granddaughter died. At 12, because I was helpless. I couldn't do anything at all about it. And when my daughter called me up, she was in Antigua with them, that's where they lived, and she called me and said, Dad, and we're losing her, right? They're resuscitating her, Dad. And for 20 minutes this went on in my ear. 20 minutes, and I couldn't do anything. If you're a father, you always feel you're there to be able to wipe their nose if they're bunged up, right? Or it's running or whatever, you're there for them. And that was my most helpless moment in my life. I couldn't do anything. It reduced me down to nothing. That was my lowest point. But you've got to learn to turn every single situation on its head. And how do you turn? If I lost my daughter, I don't know how I'd ever live, because the circle of life, that's not how it's dictated. In the same way, my granddaughter dying, that's not how the circle of life is meant to be. So how do you live with yourself? If you're the parent, how do you live with yourself? How does my daughter live with that? With her daughter dying. Terrible. For me as a grandfather, it's bad enough. So what do? How do I turn a situation on its head? You know what I had to do? I had to listen to people speaking about my granddaughter, who was only 12, and saying what the impact she had on their lives. What she did, how caring she was, how she'd always have time for them, how she'd always be helpful to the next door neighbor. When you listen to that, you realize that every one of us are a bit like the booster rockets on a satellite that's going up, right? The spaceship takes off, the boosters take you up there, but those boosters have to leave you. It's the same thing with people in your lives. They leave you, but hopefully they push you on, don't they? And then you can fly on your own. And that's what I had to do. I had to rationalize it. So every situation that happens to us that we think is bad, try turning this on its head. There are people out there right now listening who get trolls. I love trolls. I love them. because I fully understand what they're about. And I'm trying to teach people that if you get a troll, you don't react to in the way a troll wants you to react. They want you to call them out. They want you to actually be getting upset about all the things they're saying. I don't. I go, I won't even mention your name, but I tell you what, I know what's happened in your life. You've grown up without love. You didn't have anybody in your life who brought you in, sat you on their knee and told you that they love you. They never made time for you, right? They never gave you the attention that you required. So I'm here sending you love. Now, you may not want it, but the mere fact you're here, you like what I'm doing, really. You secretly like it, don't you? But let me say this to you. If tomorrow you were in hospital and you needed a blood transfusion, can you say on your deathbed, please, I don't want the blood from that person I've been trolling. I want it from that other person. You can't. You can't, can you? So I'm sending you love today and tell you, I will look after you. Yeah, I'll look after you because I want you to realize one day you will have children. And when you have children, just because you didn't get love, show them love. Set an example for them. That's how you deal with trolls.
What a beautiful message for everyone out there, for everyone's parent, for parents, for leaders, for people that have been trolled. Go back on repeat and listen to those words of wisdom by Mr Motivator.
Thank you.
Because that is incredible. That the troll thing. I need to rewind back though. What's your granddaughter's name?
Hadassah.
Hadassah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful name.
Yeah. Child of God. Yeah.
Child of God. Honestly, you really emotional. You got me really emotional there.
Thank you.
Because you were defenseless. That's the lowest point in your life.
Yeah.
Not all these other situations that have happened to you.
No. Listen. But you see, the thing is, what it does.
Do you know what? Your daughter, though, she's got an amazing dad.
At the moment, she's going through a lot of problems here.
Even you, and thanks for sharing that, because we're all going through the same thing, guys.
Of course we are.
Mr Motivator's got a family as well.
Yeah.
We've all got challenges in life.
We are. And what I'm saddened by really is the fact that we don't make time for more of this. But it's good that we're doing this because there will be people listening. And, if we just give them one nugget that they walk away with, that nugget could change their life.
You've given several.
Thank you.
I'm here for you. You whispered that so beautifully into that microphone. I believed it. You're radiating not energy and motivation. You're doing that as well, but you're radiating love and forgiveness.
I've been blessed in my life, I mean, can you believe it, right? I'll always remember I was outside near the Arsenal Stadium.
Are you an Arsenal fan?
By default, I was at that time,
Okay.
right? And there was a homeless family unit that I used to go up to with my daughter. And we used to sit outside on the case, waiting to be given somewhere to stay. And they put us in a bed and breakfast in a road called Endominium Road. There were these 4-story buildings with a basement. And you'd be in their home where there'd be 5 or 6 families all sharing the same bathroom and kitchen. And the noise was incredible. And the fighting and the shouting. And I had to protect her from all that. And you can't see a way out when that's going through your life, You can't. So I was doing whatever I had to do. But I fought for custody. And I won. And I won at a time when judges were not giving custody to fathers. So I had to prove myself. And I didn't, not just once, I did it twice. And it changed my life. Because the thing is, when you're 20 years of age and you're looking after your daughter, it changes your life forever. Because what's a 20-year-old normally doing? Discoing, partying. I couldn't do any of that. And I didn't want to expose her to lots of girlfriends and stuff like that. So your life really got controlled. And I actually thank her to this day because I believe the foundation stone started before that for me in terms of I was given away at 3 months of age. My adopted parents, right, they looked after me. They brought me to England. They exposed me to the church, the boys' brigade, all that kind of stuff. Those are the foundation stones that makes me who I am. And so everything I was going through in terms of being homeless and stuff like that, again, the foundation stone, what does it do to me? It makes me now understand anyone who's homeless. And I did a series of the BBC 2 years ago, where I went around and looked at homeless people on the street and stuff like that, right? And it makes you understand, right, that on our doorstep, there are people struggling every day. And sometimes we go, oh, well, we have a society that gives them money. That's not what it's about. You know, if poverty is not just about money, it's about all the things that those people can't get exposed to, right, that they can't do, that they don't get because they get looked down upon. You know, and we should never be doing that. We should be looking people in the face, and as long as they're breathing, right, we should be saying a kindly word to them.
What's happiness?
You know what? For me, it comes in many forms. One is, I look over my wife and I go, damn, you're lucky. And we've been together now for 35 years, right? I look at my kids. I look at people I've met, people I never dreamed I'd meet, you know. I'll always remember Cindy Crawford coming into the studios at GMTV, and all she wanted to do was work out with me. And the thing is, I have a book at home which has all these stars who came to GMTV, and all they did, they all wanted to work out with me. Everybody, Luther Vandross, Meatloaf, a lot of them have died now and no longer around. Cliff Richard, they all want to work out with me. All those things give you an element of happiness. So you see what I mean? It's well-rounded, isn't it? It's the family. It's the people you meet. It's the company you keep.
Experiences.
It's the experiences. Listen, I work with Saga Cruises, and it's incredible. Can you imagine this? 70 years of age, right? These people on the ship, on average. Some of them are older. Everyone in society neglects them. I come in, we've got the biggest room on the ship. They're queuing up from 8:30 to get into my class for 9:30. We do 30-minute class, and at the end of 2 weeks, most of them have chucked away their walking stick. They're able to get out of a chair properly, right? Can you imagine? We get 200, 250 people, 70 years of age plus, having the time of their life, rhythm, music, laughter. Oh, man. That's
Sold.
happiness.
I'm in.
That's happiness.
Honestly, I want you in my life for the rest of my life. Honestly, you are going to smash 114. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah, I hope so.
There is no doubt about that. Amazing stories that you're sharing here. Who've been the three people that have helped you most in life?
You know, it's quite interesting that when you say that, you know, because interestingly, when I was struggling and really desperate, there was never anyone around to help me. I'll always remember when I came off screen, August 23rd, 1993. That was my first week at GMTV. I went into a coffee bar. I ordered a sandwich, and the guy wouldn't take any money from me. I kept saying, here it is, money. He said, no. He said, you bring me joy in the mornings. I love it. He said, you can have it. When I was hungry, no one gave me anything.
Amazing, isn't it?
When you come through prejudices, in the early days, it was prejudice, not so much racism. A lot of jobs I went for, I was told, we'd never employ a black person in this position. I remember the first job I went for, I'd spoken to the guy on the phone. He'd almost given me the job. When I walked in, he looked up at me. He said, who are you? I said, I'm Mr. Evans. He said, why didn't you tell me you were black? I said, because you didn't tell me you were white. That's been my humor all along. And every single thing I've got, television, every job I've done, I've had to go out and get it myself. My name call in this country is probably one of the highest, if not the highest. And yet still television's never offered me my own show. Never. And yes, I see people come on, they get their own show and stuff like that, upstarts, right? Never happened. Doesn't matter to me. It's hurtful. But I believe that it makes me a better person. The fact I have to fight for everything I get. So in terms of people who help me, I'm being the one who helped people. And in helping people, it's helped me. My best friend, I helped him. He's no longer with us. I was always there for him.
The biggest gift in life is to give.
Yeah. Because kindness you can't give away. It comes back to you tenfold.
You know, if you go back and listen to this, I mean, forgiveness, understanding, gratitude. Gratitude is standing out massively in this. You know, your definition of happiness was basically gratitude.
Yeah.
Being grateful for everything.
For sure. You know, we all have a choice now about being happy. For every 1 minute we're sad, we're missing out on 60 seconds of happiness. So what am I going for every time? I'm going for happiness, right? We have a choice. We have a choice. Do you want to be sad? Do you want to walk around with a long face? If I came in here because my existence was sad, I would have drought. My chin would be down there, right? When I walk into a room, you must feel that I've walked into that room when I walk in.
That definitely happens.
Right.
I can vouch for that. I can unequivocally tell the listeners, every time you walk into a room, I genuinely believe people can feel it.
Yeah, you must. And that's how we all should be. We all should be like that. Because if you practice that level of happiness, confidence, if you practice it, you will notice the difference. You'll see the way you stand up. You see the way you walk in. When you walk into a room, people are going to notice you every time.
If you could change one thing in this world, what would it be?
I would reinvent the word patience.
And turn it to?
Just to make time for people. Because you see, people, I should have said, what would I change? I'd change lack of patience to patience. Because we don't have patience with people. We don't have any time. We don't make time. We don't make time for people.
Make the time.
Yeah. Just make the time.
Make the time. There's two big things in there. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I would get everybody to affirm this. Make the time.
Make the time. Just make the time. Yeah.
Do you know what? My favourite bit of this interview.
There's only been one? Oh, come on.
No, there's not. That's the thing. There's not. The marketing advice that you gave about PR.
Yeah.
You and Richard Branson, you've got it. Yeah. When I see Richard Branson next time, I'm going to tell him. I was with Mort.
It's quite interesting. When they launched Virgin Atlantic and it was going to Jamaica, he invited me to the launch of it.
Did he?
Yeah, to Jamaica and stuff like that. You know, I admire people like him. I also admire people like, Sammy Davis Jr., right, who really struggled hard, right? And he lost his eye, It's so interesting. He lost his eye on a day that he felt he had arrived. He now was able to buy a great big Cadillac, and he was driving down the road. In those days, he used to have a little spindle right in the middle of the steering wheel that stuck up. And that's how he lost his eye. People's lives, there can be such an influence on all of us.
Well, I tell you, you've made an impact on me. For I'm going to summarise a few things.
Okay.
Make the time.
Yeah.
What a statement. I'm here for you. Reach out to someone today.
Yeah.
And just say those words to them.
Yeah.
Talk. Trolls. Flip it on its head. I mean,
Totally.
Literally, if anyone's getting trolled, just go and listen to that segment of you sharing that and put it on repeat and watch how chilled out you'll be.
Oh, for sure. I do it all the time with them. I get very few trolls now because when they come on there, I say, I love you. It's great to see you. But I'm not going to mention your name. I'm not going to mention what you said.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
Energy flows where focus goes.
Yeah.
Gratitude as well. I feel a real sense of gratitude coming from you. I mean, the big thing, the story, it's hit me in the heart of your granddaughter.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
But you've dealt with it.
Yeah.
And you've helped your daughter and...
Yeah.
Whoa.
But you must get a lot of business people listening to this. And every business person out there, it's a lonely space. It's a lonely space. You may have the best team in the world. It's still a lonely space because you're the one that has to be entrepreneurial, come up with the idea. You got to believe in that idea. You got to go, no matter what, I'm going to try and make the idea to work, right? You put your money where your mouth is. Lonely space. The recipe for your success isn't just the fact that the company gets grown up and you've got a team that grows. Is what has it done to you? What have you done with your life? There's no saying, many a man has sacrificed his health, you've heard it many times, I'm sure, in pursuit of wealth, and then spent his wealth trying to regain his health. And all he found was a grave. I got in the back of a taxi coming here, and the taxi driver, he said, "Oh, Mo." In fact, I didn't even flag him down. I was actually walking along, and he saw me. He pulled up by the side, and he said, "Hello, Moat, so good to see you," right? And stuff like that. He said, "Where are you going?" I told him. He said, "Get in."
You know what? You have inspired me. What's been your favourite part of this interview?
There's a calmness about you, which I kind of like, because you allow me to speak, right? And that calmness is really kind of good, and you pick out certain points of what I've said, and that is the sign of a good interviewer. All too often the interviewer wants his voice to be heard all the time. This wasn't about you, it was about me, and that was good to do that, because I felt that, to be honest, there should be a part 2 and 3 of what we're doing.
I agree.
Right? Because I think there's so many other topics we can touch on.
I think we do it next time with a live audience.
Yeah, why not?
Because you will inspire people.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. But don't just do it in London, because Manchester is the capital city, you know.
Okay.
the food's cheaper up there, you know.
Let's do a tour.
Yeah, let's do
a tour.
In fact, that'd be a good idea.
Spread the joy.
Let's do a tour.
You heard it here today, folks. Mr Motivator, you're a rock star. Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Well done,
Starting
guys.
your own business was an exciting time, wasn't it? The good days you had, and the bad. You knew you'd have to work hard, but you did it for your future. Lately, though, you're missing out on the important things in life. Time seems to be slipping by. So make the change. Claim back your work-life balance and grow your business today. Visit actioncoach.co.uk